One brothers, all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakadash. Hey, I want to say shalom to all you brothers and sisters. This is your brother Elder Ayathan or Bishop Ayathan. And I'm on plantation time, so Lord's will, I'm going to make this, excuse me, I'm going to make this short but sweet. And this is for brothers and sisters, and mainly for the brothers, well, sisters as well, equally as important, that are on social media, mainly Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, all of that. And this has been bothering me for a while, but it's been really heavy on me lately. And before I start, I want to read a scripture. Okay? And basically, man, the premise of this video is that brothers need to be very careful how they conduct themselves on social media. You know, I see a lot of brothers, I'm on there, as well as some of the other elders, but I'd say I might spend more time on there, more so than any other elders, because I'm on there, you know, but for business purposes. And honestly, I'm also checking brothers out. You know, brothers are following me. I'm following a few brothers, and I just go on there and see what's up, and just a lot of stuff that doesn't really sit right with me. So yeah. So today we are going to mainly stick with the book of Romans. All right, we're going to stick with the book of Romans, the 14th chapter. And the first scripture I'm going to bring out, give me a second here, because I got my notes here. So here's Romans 14. Let me make sure y'all can see it on the screen. Let me check it out. Yep. All right, so I don't know, let's start around, well, I'll start at 1. I'm trying not to make this too long. So verse 1 says in Romans 14, him that is weak in faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. So faith is a gift, as it is explained in the book of Ephesians. It's a gift from the Most High. Some brothers have the gift of having stronger faith. Some brothers have weaker faith. Nothing wrong with that. It's balance. This is how we help each other out in different areas. There's going to be areas where a brother's stronger, and he can help brothers out that are weaker in that area, and then vice versa. And then you got brothers that are pretty strong in everything, pretty balanced all around the board. So the Most High determines who gets what. But if a brother is sincere, but his faith is a little weak, you don't dismiss him. Okay? Excuse me. Look at Thomas. Yahweh Shai did not dismiss Thomas, but that was just Thomas. That's how he's built. But he was sincere, and he's part of the elect. Now verse 2 says, for everyone believeth that he may eat all things. Another who is weak eateth herbs. Now, this is twofold. It's going into foods, but here at Great Millstone, we are spiritual brothers. So when we read the scriptures, we know how to digest it with a spiritual, we know how to look at it with spiritual eyes. Okay? And we know how to digest it spiritually. So when it talks about the foods here, the herbs and the meats, spiritually, this is talking about your works or the things that you do in his truth. Okay? So it says, for one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for the Most High hath received him. I'll give you an example. When I first came into truth, it was taught that mushrooms are unlawful. So we all stayed away from mushrooms. There's brothers that liked it, I guess, when they were in the world. I never had a thing for mushrooms myself, so not eating mushrooms wasn't a big thing for me. I was never into them anyway. So now years later, as things we understand things more and how things grow, that's because we understood, were always taught and understood that mushrooms only grow from dead things, from dung and dead things. But there are different varieties of mushrooms. And there are mushrooms that don't, that are lawful, And for a lot of brothers, that's still like a debate, But you can't really prove it that you're going off by eating mushrooms. You can't prove it. Even certain fish that we thought, I'll give you another example. For the Passover, there was a long list when I came into truth of things you couldn't have on a Passover. I think vinegar was one of them. There was a lot of things that were actually lawful, but we thought they were unlawful. So we stayed away from them. Now, for example, if a brother had, let me see, something, let's say like yogurt. I don't think yogurt has yeast in it. It has cultures in it, but not yeast. So back in the days, 90s, if you had yogurt during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you'd get some heavy, you get cursed out or whatever. Nowadays, we all know that, hey, there's no yeast in it. There's no yeast in yogurt, so it's fine to eat during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. There's a lot of things that we should throw out of the house that are actually have no yeast in them, but we thought they did. Eggs, I think, was another thing. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But eggs or something like even fried chicken. You can eat fried chicken, because as long as there's no yeast. I don't think there's yeast in flour. But see, that's what I'm talking about. There's things like that where it's debatable, right? And so one brother might eat it because in his spirit, in his conscience, he believes there's nothing wrong with that. And then, so when you go to like, man, I don't want to hop around like that because I'm trying to save time, but it goes into this very same chapter. I think it's 14, maybe 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. So in other words, if you believe that eating a certain thing is not unlawful, but another brother believes it is unlawful, then at that point, especially if you're exercised or an elder or been in this thing for a good amount of time, and you have like a leadership type of position, we got to look out for other brothers. Well, you shouldn't look at it as a right or wrong thing. Well, he don't know what he's talking about, right? That goes back up to verse 1. You're hating on him because he doesn't get it like you get it, or he doesn't see it the way you see it. But you got to look at it as a love thing. So out of love for my brother, not offending him, I'm just not going to eat it, at least not eat it in front of him. You see what I'm saying? So it says, let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. Verse 14, I know and am persuaded by the Lord Yahushua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. So if he looks at it as unclean, in his mind he's persuaded as such, right? But to you, you're not persuaded. And sometimes it's out of ignorance. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you are going off and you don't know, but that's where the law of ignorance comes in. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you brothers get what I'm getting at. And this is mainly for you brothers that's up there in age, because in this truth, you've been in there a couple years, you might be leading a camp, have brothers under you. I mean, I don't really have to explain to you. By now, you should already have your senses exercised to where you're not doing simple things like that out of ignorance. I'm just using that as an example, right? You should already know what you could put in your mouth and what not to put in your mouth. All right? So let's just continue on. Verse 3 says, let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for the Most High hath received him. Verse 4, who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Yea, he shall be holden up, for the Most High is able to make him stand. All right, so what does all this have to do with social media, right? You're probably asking yourself. Well, here's the thing, brothers. Slack it. So here's the thing. I see a lot of brothers on social media with that do workouts. Specifically, that's what I'm thinking about. You know, working out brothers, and they out there with their shirts off, flexing muscles. You know, just doing dumb shit, in my opinion. Dumb shit that's not for edification. And look, the reason I brought these scriptures out is because it's not up to me to say you're right or you're wrong. Because in all actuality, I don't know what your heart is or what your purpose is. Because look, I myself have a couple social media channels. I'm talking about Instagram. I got like 3 or 4. I even have a workout channel, and a lot of you brothers are on there, you know. And I'm not gonna give it out. If you're not on there, I'm not gonna give it out. But a lot of brothers are on there. Now, when I went on the social media, right, what I did is I don't go under my Hebrew name. I don't even go under my slave government name. I selected a totally different name so nobody could find me. I try to hide myself from the brotherhood, but you motherfuckers found me. I don't mean that in a bad way, you know. But a lot of brothers found me, and the way they found me is some brothers had my phone number, so I popped up, they followed me. Other brothers I was following them followed me. And this is for my workout. But the thing is, I don't have a workout channel for to flex my muscles and all that. I actually own a business in a workout industry. So I created a channel, right, to promote my business. That was the whole reason for it. Now, you brothers that are on there, you can all attest, okay? If you say I'm lying, if I'm about to say something and it's a lie, then go ahead and make a video about it, okay? But there's nobody that can make a video about it, because out of all the posts I have, all the workout stuff, there's no photos of me taking my shirt off or flexing or things like that. I'm working out. I do workout lessons, you know? I'm showing myself working out, and it's for promotion. Some are instructional, and some are me just doing moves, but the profile links back to my business page or to my business Instagram account, right? And my whole purpose of changing my name up and not flexing my pecs and all that shit, the whole reason for that is because I know that there's brothers that's going to be coming on there and probably find me, or possibly will find me. And I knew brothers were following me, and there's other brothers going to follow me. So I had to be very careful of the type of things I post. Not because there's anything right or wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I'm doing it for business. I'm not doing it, you know, brothers that do it and they're not doing it for business sake or to grow their own business. I really don't know why you're doing it. You know, to be honest with you, like, you know, I mean, it's cool. Congratulations. You know, you hit a PR, or you did a move, or, you know, your biceps or your chest is growing. You know, congratulations, brother. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. But I don't care to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care to see that shit. And then another thing as well is social media is for women. Right? Social media is for women to go on there and get validation so they can feel like they're pretty, to get likes and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of so-called Israelite sisters out there. Israelite sisters that have men, whether the men are in the truth or not. A lot of them have men that are in the truth. A lot of them have men that are not in the truth. But here they're on Instagram, and they watching videos of you working out with no shirt or flexing, you know what I'm saying? Like a secret crush. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all think about that shit or not. So you got to be careful. You know, in the position you're in, you got to be careful. We're not like normal men. We're not the world. You can't use, if you're going to use the social media, don't use it how the world uses it. Like I said, for business purposes, fine. You know, that's why I went into the book of Romans, the 14th chapter. I don't know why you're doing it or for what purpose. So I can't really pass no judgment. All I could do is give you some edification on the situation, give you another way to think about it. Maybe you didn't think about that. You know, you got, because I got sisters that subscribe to my page. So thank the Wadi Yahweh Shimmy Hawashai. I ain't got no, I'm not on there flexing my fucking pecs with my shirt off or anything like that, or, you know what I'm saying, doing Mr. Olympia shit. I don't know if they got men or not. I really don't know, but I know there's sisters that follow me on there, right? Let me see what else I got for scriptures, because I read 14 and 13. I read 14 and 4. Let me go down to 21. Romans 14 and 21. Here, let's start at 19. Here, let's start at 18. For he that in these things serveth Yahushua is acceptable to the Most High and approved of men. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace and things wherewith one may edify another. So again, if you just post and stuff just for likes and get followers and who knows what, if you're not on there for business, then I don't know why you're on there. Then it's not edifying. It's not edifying at all. Now let me show you something. There's something called vanity metrics. What are vanity metrics? Vanity metrics are the things that females are after on Instagram, because most females, since the introduction of fucking OnlyFans, I might have to change my stance, but most females on there, they're just attention whores on the social media, especially Instagram, TikTok. They're attention whores. So they get a dopamine hit off of likes and follows. That's why they on there, you know. You might be on a date and a chick pulls out her phone and starts snapping pictures because she wants to post it so she get, oh, you look so cute, oh, you look good, oh, you know, to get those dopamine hits, because they're attention whores. As a man, you're not supposed to be an attention whore. Okay? So vanity metrics are just that, likes, follows, and they don't mean shit. It's just vanity. If you read here, vanity metrics are stats that look spectacular on the surface, but don't necessarily translate to any meaningful business results. So brothers, you on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're doing on there, does it translate to anything meaningful for business results? Actual business, right, that you got going on, an actual business, or either that or the business of the Most High. Does it give you any advantage in any of those areas? If not, then what the hell are you doing? Examples include vanity metrics. And examples include the number of social media followers or the number of views on a promotional video. While the data might seem superficially impressive, you get a short dopamine hit from it. These metrics do not accurately reflect any organization's key drivers, active users, engagement, blah, blah, blah. So it's going into business because, someone with a sound mind, what is actually trying to make moves, they're not on social media sites just for vanity. They're on there to make moves, to make some money, to promote something, you know? So I think that was mainly it, man. You got to remember that, look, the position that we're in, the main thing is to do things that are edifying. We do have a certain image that we have to keep up, do things good in the sight of all men, be blameless and all that. And the reason I went into the week in Romans 14 is because you might have some new brothers. Remember, there's new brothers, younger brothers. The followers that hit me up, I don't know, I never seen these dudes before. A lot of these brothers, you know. And speaking of that, it should be way more way more GMS channels, because all the brothers that hopped on and followed me, I'm like, a lot of them I've never seen before. Or maybe I just don't recognize them from the camps. You know, it could be that too. But yeah, there's a lot of young brothers on there, and they'll hit me up on there, ask questions too. So, you know, I got to be careful, man. I even got another channel, and that's for business purpose as well. And I'm trying to move real careful because I don't want to give brothers a wrong impression. You know, I'm gonna end it with this little story right here. All right. Slakia. I'm gonna end it with this little story. You know, when we used to go out on 34th and 7th, right? 34th and 7th Street, you know, we are the second tier elders in Connecticut, right? You got the apostles, and then you have the bishops, us, you know, which I am one of them. And so when we blew up on YouTube, we had a lot of brothers coming in. They were younger brothers. So me, myself, I'm talking about myself. I'm sure other bishops took this same stance as well. You know, we used to rock the chains, gold chains, silver chains with the lion heads on them, and big ass rings with the shield of David. And you know what I'm saying? We used to have bling. Me, myself personally, when I used to go to the camp, I would either take my bling off or I would tuck it in, you know, because I've been able, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, I've for the most part been able to keep a decent job, you know, making decent money. Not rich or anything like that, but where I can sustain myself and have a little bit extra just to buy, you know, buy a little chain if I wanted to or whatever. And look, I work hard. Everything that any brother has ever seen me with, I've worked hard for it. All right. I grew up poor. I grew up poorer than I guarantee 90% of y'all listening to this right now. I grew up poor. I was homeless for a good while. My parents came here as immigrants, didn't have $1 in their pocket. They built themselves up. So I come from a family that had zero, zilch, you know, zilch, nothing. You know, that's why, like me, I'm not into a lot of stuff that a lot of brothers are into. You know, there's a cutoff point for me when it comes to even hip hop. You know, I love hip hop, but there's a cutoff point going back in the day where I don't know some of the culture. Even with basketball, football, a lot of those American things is because my parents are not from here. My parents are from outside of America. So I didn't grow up with that American culture, you know, that brothers whose families were here, got generations going back. I don't have that. Before my parents, there was nobody here. I don't go back any further than that. So, slack it for the ramble, but I'm just building up into the story. So, that I believe kind of, you know, put like a little whatever hustle in me. So the spirit had it where I've always been able to hustle or work hard to get what I have. All right. So yeah, I had little things here and there, but I knew there was younger brothers in the camp that didn't have it, were, you know, struggling, looking for a job. It's hard out there. It's hard out there in the city. It's tough as shit. So I would make sure when I go out there in the camp, I didn't look, you know, I didn't make myself look greater than them or, you know, or anything. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I'm trying to say. And the same, and I always had brothers, and I always kept like a decent whip, you know, and I would hook them up and all that. I would hook up the whips, you know, I have spaceship cars and all that crazy shit back in the day. And the same thing is, when we blew up and younger brothers started coming in, nobody knew what the hell I was driving. I'm talking about the brothers and the younger brothers. The bishops, we live in Connecticut, you know, we was amongst each other all the time. So they knew, there was every step of the way, they knew what I was driving. But up in New York, nobody knew what I was driving. That's because I would always make sure I don't drive in front of the camp with my vehicle, because I don't want brothers getting the wrong idea. They don't know my struggle. They don't know how I got what I got. Now, the one time I did, the one time I really didn't want to do it is there was a couple brothers in the car with me, a couple of the bishops, and I needed to drop them off in front of the camp. They had signs and whatever. And then this was after we had the influx of new brothers. And that's when I had the Audi. I had an Audi, and this Nooka, right? They call him Dinobot, right? Dino. I call him a Kuma, because this mother effer used to go out there when the brothers used to go out there and the MMA and all that. He'd go out there barefoot, and he had them Akuma looking feet, and his hair was all crazy. So I call him Akuma, but that he made that video. Oh yeah, how you done? You taking all that tight money, and you driving around that 8.8, and that's the exact thing I never wanted to happen. That's the whole reason, because I don't want to be known for what the fuck I'm driving and this and that. And no, I didn't get it from tight money. I got it from hard motherfucking work. I saved up. I worked hard. I saw something I want. I had a woman at that time that had good credit. She got this shit for me cheap with a good, interest rate, which was next to nothing. She helped me. So I got the joint. You don't know how I got that joint. You don't know how hard I worked to put in to get that. You know what I'm saying? But from the outside looking in, it looks like, yo, he got it like that. What the hell is he doing to get that? But that's the reason why I didn't have flashy chains or go in front of the camp drive around with my whips or whatever and all that. Because I didn't want to destroy another brother's faith or, have them focusing on the wrong thing. We in here for the truth. Don't be focusing on, yo, how'd you get that? That's not the thing we focus on. You know what I'm saying? So, sloggy for the ramble, but it all circles back around to the social media. I could go out there and flex. I could go and flex. Y'all who follow me, I haven't posted in a minute. That spirit kind of left me. At least for now, I'm focusing on other shit. But man, you don't see me on there flexing, taking my shirt off and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? For the women or to show brothers like, yo, look at me, I'm getting diesel. Man, fuck all that bullshit. Like, what does that do? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't find one post of me doing that. Now, anyway, yeah, I don't need to say no more. But that's it, man. I had one scripture here I'm gonna read, and yeah, this is 2 Corinthians 13:9. It says, "For we are glad when we are weak and ye are strong, and this also we wish, even your perfection." So, this is all for your perfection, brothers. All for your perfection. And for you sisters, man, if you got an Israelite man at home, or a man, period, don't be out there stalking brothers' pages and shit like that, because you like their physique. Your man might have a beer belly or whatever, and this brother got a 6-pack, so you over here lusting on his brother's page and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's on you, because the brother may not know you following him or checking him out. But I'm talking to you brothers out there, us just in the position we're in, we got to take precautions, and we got to be proactive, and we got to do stuff to avoid that as well. You know what I'm saying? We got to do stuff to avoid that as well. Because it's just a satanic environment, everything, all the instruments, including social media, for satanic purposes. All right? You should only be using it if it's for business. Or to spread the truth, the Most High's business. One or the other. If you want to show your pecs, if you want to show how you can flex your right and your left pec and have brothers like your photo and all that, then make it private. Make it private. And have brothers who want to see you bounce your pecs around follow you. You know what I'm saying? Verse 10. "Therefore I write these things being absent, lest being present I should use sharpness according to the power which the Lord had given me, to edification and not to destruction." So brothers, sisters, I didn't make this video to destroy you, to get on brothers, because again, I don't know the intent of your heart. So you take this the way you want to take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking. This is just on my mind, heavy, and I'm just speaking to my mind, from a spiritual standpoint. So, either either you're gonna love me or you're gonna hate me for it. That's all I can say. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. All right, we almost at the end. We almost home. Shalom.